I will talk about what my father did to me. I was living with him when he was separated from my mother, who left us in the province and went to live in the capital. I was 10 years when the whole thing began. Even when I left my father in the province and went to be with my mother in the capital, I continued to see the wickedness of my father in the night. My father was an evil man. He resorted to occultism and evil practices. He had a secret room. One day I was with my friends when he called me to join him. When I came to him, he led me to the room where he does not like people to open. It was the forbidden room that is always closed, and no one was supposed to enter there. On that day my father had opened the door of that room for the first time for me. I looked and I saw a huge serpent. I saw that my father had built a little house inside that room where he kept the serpent. I saw how he opened the little house and the serpent entered. It was the first time that he opened the door with me. Initially I felt terror, but then the fear was gone, and in the face of the serpent I saw that I lost my fear. In the next instant he gave me the key to open the secret room, and he asked me to take the serpent back inside the little house, which I was able to do without him. This was actually an initiation into evil practice. When I look inside the serpent house, I saw in the serpent little house many human skeleton, of adult and children. I saw human bones inside bottles. I saw dolls and strange statues. It seems that my father was a charlatan. I was scared. I saw red cloth. I went out and gave him the key. 2 days later I was sleeping in my room in the night, when I saw that the door of my room was opened by itself. I kept looking when I saw the serpent entering my room, and the serpent moved towards my bed, and it climbed on my bed and became a person. But the person slept with me on my bed hiding his face. The serpent was actually my own father, who came to sleep with me in the shape of the serpent. In the first instance he came physically to molest me. The following day when he came in the form of a serpent, it was in the spirit. He brought me red juice which was human blood and egg. This serpent took the habit of coming to my room and turning to an unidentified man to molest me. And he continued to bring me beverage and food which were human part and blood. In fact, every time he molested me in the dream, blood was flowing in the physical. Eating human flesh and drinking human blood that he brought every day opened my spiritual eyes, and he began to transport me to the spirit world. It is when I began to drink the juice that was a human blood that I began to dream that I am driving car, motorcycle, and I was flying in space through a comb. And I was learning to fly in the spirit, and I was crashing and falling many times from the altitude to the ground, until I mastered the art of flying in the spirit that people call astral journey. Many people dream that they're learning or trying to fly in the altitude like Superman and falling continually. This is witchcraft. It's subconscient witchcraft. I was 10 years old back then. I was young and could not understand very well what was happening to me. I still did not know that the serpent was my father. He kept hiding his face. On one occasion I asked him, "Why are you continually hiding your face? You will show me your face. I want to see your face." He told me, "You will not see my face. I know you are not feeling well, but don't take any medication until I give you one, and you don't need to go to church. Don't ever go there, and avoid prayer." These evil encounter with the snake continued, but I kept these things for myself and never told my mother. This serpent kept coming in my room in the night and told me, "You must never court another man, and you must never have sexual intercourse with another man." I began to avoid talking to men. One day a young man in the compound asked me, "Why do you always avoid talking to men? What is the problem?" In the night the serpent told me, "If you continue talking to men, I will shorten the days of your life on this earth. I told you not to talk to men, and if you are stubborn I will kill the young man you were talking to." I said, "Kill me if you want, but leave the young man alone. He is innocent." The serpent said to me, "Remember that I will not tolerate hearing you mentioning God in your mouth." Actually, before sleeping I always felt like praying, and whenever I tried to close my eyes to pray, I saw a wicked mask of witchcraft trying to scare me to prevent me from praying. In the morning I woke feeling pain as if I was bound all over the body. Then I saw the young man courting me again, telling me he wanted to marry me. I advised him to find another lady. Every time I slept with the snake I had painful menstrual cycle. I was not feeling well and was taken to the hospital. At this stage I am no longer in the province at my father's place. I was now living with my mother in the capital where I was in the hospital. Even if I left my father outside the capital, the snake was coming to molest me and blood was flowing. I told my mother, I am seeing a man in the dream who is coming to sleep with me and I have this blood flowing. She said prayer will do, just pray, but I did not pray. Every time I talked about the snake to my mother in the night, I was whipped all over the body and I woke up with pain. When I saw that he gave me a year to live, I said, how come a man decide on the days of my life? God will have the last word. That when I decided to go to church, at some point I was tired and decided to give up. My aunt talked to me about an evangelical church in the city. I was walking along the boulevard heading to church. I saw coming a lorry and a car that almost collided and I was between the two cars that were about to crash me. That's when a motorcycle driver pulled me back and I survived the accident. It was a desperate attempt by the serpent to stop me. I continued to walk and when I took a bus heading to church, I noticed that the bus started to behave as if it was about to break down. The driver was struggling and driving in a wayward way. I fear that we would have an accident, and I said, Lord, the car is fine but something is wrong, do something. When the Lord had fixed the car, I was taken by a deep sleep, for the enemy was trying to prevent me from reaching the church. The sleep came so that I will pass the church stop. Thank God the Lord intervened and I woke up on time and got off the bus at the church stop. I was walking towards the church when I bumped on something and I felt great pain. I saw on the side of the road and I felt a weakness that was diabolical. Thank God I was unable to rise and enter the church. There was a guest speaker preaching and I felt strong when he was preaching, but when it was the turn of the man of God, the host pastor, I felt the diabolical weakness again. I said, Lord, why am I weak? What is it about to happen to me? That's when I was seized by the power of God and deliverance began. When the pastor and intercessor were praying for my freedom, in the spirit I saw the serpent that was beating me, and I was unable to speak for my voice was stolen. The serpent told me, since you are stubborn your days are numbered. I told you not to come to church but you refused to listen. The serpent bound me on a tree with ties and he was beating me and tormenting me, until the intervention of the power of God and I was free from his grip.